Have you ever wondered how one person can change the image of an entire country just by being themselves? How elegance, love, and a fairy tale life can turn a small place into one of the most glamorous spots on Earth? Today, we are going to talk about a story that still feels like a dream. A story that connects Grace Kelly, Monaco, and the idea of luxury that we see even today. And by the end of this video, you might start asking yourself, is luxury really about money, or is it something deeper? Before we begin, if you enjoy stories like this, make sure you like this video and subscribe to our channel. It really helps us bring more amazing stories to you. Now, let's begin. When we hear the name Grace Kelly, what comes to mind? Beauty, elegance, calmness, and something almost magical. She was not just a Hollywood actress, she was a symbol of grace itself. In the 1950s, she was one of the biggest stars in the world. Everyone knew her face, everyone admired her style. But what makes her story truly unforgettable is not just Hollywood. It is Monaco, a small, peaceful country on the Mediterranean coast. Before Grace Kelly, many people around the world did not even think much about Monaco. It was quiet, it was rich, yes, but not famous in the way it is today. So what changed? Everything changed when Grace Kelly met Prince Rainier III of Monaco. But let's slow down for a moment. Can you imagine giving up a huge Hollywood career, fame, attention, and the entire world watching you, just for love and a new life in a small royal palace? That is exactly what she did. When Grace Kelly married Prince Rainier in 1956, the world stopped and stared. Newspapers called it a real-life fairy tale. A Hollywood princess becomes a real princess. It sounded like a movie, but it was real life. And this is where Monaco began to change forever. Because Grace Kelly was not just a royal bride, she became the face of Monaco. Her presence brought something new, something soft, something elegant. Suddenly, Monaco was not just a small wealthy place on the map. It became a symbol of luxury, romance, and beauty. But what does luxury really mean here? Is it just expensive cars, big yachts, and fancy hotels? Or is it something more emotional? Something you feel when you see beauty, peace, and timeless style all together? Grace Kelly's life in Monaco started to shape the answer. She brought Hollywood charm into royal life. She attended events with quiet confidence. She wore simple but elegant fashion that people still talk about today. She did not need loud luxury. Her style was calm, clean, and unforgettable. And slowly, Monaco began to reflect her image. Even today, when people think of Monaco, what do they imagine? Shining blue sea, luxury yachts, high-end cars, elegant people walking through clean streets, and a feeling that everything there is just a little more beautiful than everywhere else. But how much of that image came from Grace Kelly's influence? More than we realize. She helped create the global identity of Monaco as a luxury destination. Not through advertisements, not through marketing, but simply by living there as herself. Isn't that incredible? One person, one presence, one personality, changing how the whole world sees a country. But there is also something emotional behind this story. Because Grace Kelly's life was not only about glamour, it was also about change. Deep, personal change. She left behind acting at the peak of her career. She stepped into royal duties, family life, and public expectations. She became a mother. She became a princess. And she lived a life that was very different from Hollywood lights. And yet, she never lost her elegance. That is why people still remember her today. But let's ask something important. Why are we still talking about her after so many decades? What makes her story still so powerful in today's world of luxury brands, influencers, and modern fame? Maybe it is because modern luxury has changed. Today, luxury is often loud. It is about showing off. It is about being seen. It is about price tags and labels. But Grace Kelly's version of luxury was different. It was quiet. It was natural. It was effortless. She did not try to look luxurious. She simply was. And that is something we rarely see today. Now let's bring this into Monaco today. If you visit Monaco now, you will still feel her presence everywhere. Not physically, of course, but in spirit. The elegance of the city, the calmness mixed with wealth, the style of people who visit, the image of perfection that Monaco carries even now. All of this connects back to the era when Grace Kelly became its princess. But here is a question for you. Can a person's image really become part of a country's identity forever? In Monaco's case, the answer seems to be yes, because even modern luxury tourism in Monaco still carries that Grace Kelly feeling, that soft, romantic, timeless charm that cannot be fully explained. And this is what makes her story so unique. She did not just live in luxury, she defined a version of luxury that still exists today. Now, let's talk about Christina Taft's perspective on this. When we look at stories like Grace Kelly's through a modern lens, we start to understand something deeper. Luxury is not only about wealth, it is about emotion. It is about presence. It is about how a place or a person makes you feel. Monaco today is filled with modern luxury brands, high-end events, and international attention. But at its heart, it still carries a romantic image that started decades ago. And that image was shaped strongly by Grace Kelly's life as princess. But there is also a bittersweet side to this story. Because behind all the glamour, Grace Kelly's life ended too soon. She passed away in 1982 after a car accident. The world was shocked. It felt like losing a real-life fairy tale, but her legacy did not end. Instead, it became stronger. Because legends do not fade, they grow. And today, when people visit Monaco, when they watch old films, when they talk about timeless beauty, Grace Kelly's name still appears. She became more than an actress, more than a princess. She became a symbol of elegance that never gets old. So let's come back to the big idea. What is luxury today? Is it the cars, the watches, the yachts, the hotels, or is it something you cannot buy? Something like calmness, grace, and timeless beauty. Grace Kelly's story pushes us to think differently. She shows us that real luxury might not be about having everything. Maybe it is about how you carry yourself, how you live, how you make a place feel more beautiful just by being in it. And Monaco is the perfect example of this idea living on. Even today, it feels like a place shaped by elegance rather than just money. So the next time you hear about Monaco, or see images of its shining coastline, or hear about its luxury lifestyle, ask yourself this simple question. Are we seeing just a wealthy place, or are we seeing the lasting influence of a woman who became a living symbol of grace? Before we end, if you enjoyed this journey through Grace Kelly's Monaco and the meaning of luxury today, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to our channel. We bring stories like this regularly, and your support helps us keep going. Thank you for watching, and remember, sometimes true luxury is not what you own, it is what you become.